Group 1 contest over a mile, and they're off. A little bit slow into stride was First Wave, and in the early stages it is Windlord who moves forward. At this stage, Field of Gold is posted just a little bit wide, without wider Officer and Rashabar moving forward. Field of Gold just drifting back in the field, but Ruling Court will hold him 3 deep up the hill. Johnny said he didn't want to be, and Colin Keane may just drift back. Right at the back, it's Henri Matisse last of all, and now Field of Gold just slot in. So up front, it's a battle between Officer and Windlord, potentially the 2 pacemakers for the bigger guns in behind. Racing in 3rd place is Rashabar. In 4th is Ruling Court. Behind those, in 5th is First Wave. Field of Gold and Henri Matisse are the back pair. Ruling Court not really travelling at this stage, just being pushed into the bride by William Buick, as the front 2, the pacemakers have got about a 3-length lead over the rest of the field. It's Officer on the outside of Windlord. Rashabar comes next. Just angling out now is Field of Gold. Ruling Court is under strong pressure. Henri Matisse is going to shadow Field of Gold every step of the way. Field of Gold still electing to come between horses and now just manoeuvres out. So it's Officer at the top of the home run. Field of Gold is poised down the outside. Rashabar then towards the inside. Ruling Court. Henri Matisse is trying to shadow Field of Gold, but takes a nudge off Rashabar as Field of Gold kicks to the front in the St James's Palace, opens up a gap of 3 or 4 lengths. Ruling Court and Henri Matisse are coming out after the leader, who is still clear. Field of Gold by 5 lengths. Henri Matisse and Ruling Court, both Guineas winners in their own right, but the undisputed champion of the clash is Field of Gold. The St James's Palace goes to the dashing Bray and Colin Keane. In 2nd, Henri Matisse. Ruling Court plugged on for 3rd. Rashabar then Officer. Windlord, they did their jobs. And last of all, First Wave. Field of Gold just clearly superior. Henri Matisse tried to shadow him, not helped by getting a little nudge from Rashabar, but Field of Gold had gone by then, and Colin Keane just bided his time. The race fell apart after the pace had been sought out by 2 outsiders. Ruling Court has plugged on, but he never really travelled with any purpose. Rashabar will be 4th with Officer down the field, as they were in Ireland. Windlord was 6th, and First Wave never really played any part. Well, we've always been wondering whether Field of Gold was unlucky at Newmarket, and he's unlucky not to be beaten this year. I'm sure they will head, one would imagine, for the Juddmonte, maybe try and stretch him out for 10.5 furlongs, maybe the Eclipse, but there's no doubt he is the champion 3-year-old miler. Field of Gold, what a lovely horse.
The Irish Guineas winner beats the French Guineas winner, and in 3rd was the English Guineas winner. And Johnny, have we just seen the best performance in this race since his dad won 11 years ago?
It was pretty special, Ed, but when you have genuine pace on, Ed, you can see, like, he just cruised up to them here. Colin got by the 2, he took a breath and off he went. You know, pressure day for Colin today. You know, this is big, this biggest ride he's had in a while. Royal Ascot, new job. But when you have a team with you, when, like, you say the Ballydoyle team, but don't forget, Juddmonte had their own lad in it today. So there was going to be no messing. They made sure that it was a good, even, honest pace. They have a horse that stays really well on a track that will really suit him well. And that's when you see the distances. You know, 4 lengths, 4 lengths. That's all you need when you're riding these good horses. Genuine pace, get them to the 2, and they're going to win for you 9 times out of 10.
And the Guineas winners, as you'll see here, 1, 2 and 3. Emphatic winner, Field of Gold. And there was that key moment as they turned in. Jason, where was Colin Keane going to go? And he went down the inside of First Wave.
There were 2 points early on. He was going to be caught way wide, and so he thought, right, I'm going to take back. He's ended up the winner, and the second sat last and second last in the early stages. He was going that well that he could ease his way and make a bit of room. That's how well he was going, rounding for home.
Congratulations to Colin Keane. We were all talking about this horse in the build-up to this race, saying pressure on Colin Keane in the new job and all of that. It looked rather easy, Colin.
I suppose, Rich, good horses make it look easy. Saying that it was a very good renewal of the race. I don't know when the last time 3 Guineas winners clashed, but he was very good in the Curragh, and he was very good again today.
Talk me through the early part of the race. The pace seemed genuine, which would help a horse like this. Were you ever worried about the position that you took up early on?
No, I was happy enough. I was beside the 3 main rivals. William was beside us. I thought Ryan was always going to be behind us somewhere, and if anything, they probably didn't bring us far enough, and we got there plenty soon, but he's tough and genuine. He's a good horse.
You say he's a good horse. A lot of people have spoken about him as one of the best we've seen over a mile in recent times. You've ridden a lot of good horses. Where does this fella rank after 2 rides on him, Irish Guineas and the St James's Palace Stakes?
Yeah, fortunate enough to be riding him, and at this moment he's the best horse I've sat on.
And Colin, to get this win in these silks so early on, now that the agreement is official, what does that mean to you?
As I said when it was announced, I'm in a very privileged position. These colours, they're colours iconic with racing. We grow up looking at them, and to get a Group 1 winner as their first rider so soon is just brilliant.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Led up by Bishan Singh, Field of Gold in the Juddmonte colours, who won this before with Frankel most famously. Field of Gold delivered in start at 8-11. Henri Matisse was second at 4-1. And for Colin Keane, 2 previous Royal Ascot winners in the Kensington Palace and the Duke of Edinburgh. This a much, much bigger stage, Johnny, and he delivered.
Yeah, he's ready for it now, Ed. I think he's 30. He's after being champion jockey in Ireland 6 times. He needs to get on these good horses. Good horses make good jockeys, but when you get on them, you have to hit the target. Thought he rode it beautifully. He could have been 3 wide up the hill, as Jason says. He took back. He was nice and cool, and that moment turning in, he just got that beautiful gap in between them. And as he said to himself, he went there maybe a half a furlong too soon, but very, very good winner, Ed. Stretched right away. That's what you want to see. Horses winning Group 1s by a bit of distance.
So good to see the Juddmonte dynasty continue, and His Highness Prince Saud bin Khalid is here today. There he is with his back to us, I think. Some of the most famous colours in the sport. Pressure on Colin Keane, you wouldn't know it. And Johnny, here's that key moment you referred to in the race.
Yeah, they just turned in, and the Ballydoyle horse was in front of me. Wasn't going that well. He followed Rashabar through here. Now, it looks easy, but he's not going to get out there all of a sudden, as Jay said. He's going lovely and smooth, and he just eased his way out, made the gap, gave his horse a breather there for a couple of strides, and there's the 2 marker. He just let him go, because he knew he was going to get to the line really well. But I'd say that was the only moment's worry he had, because when he let him go, he quickened up really, really well.
But once you've started the engine, as he sees the gap, he knows that he has far too much pony for the O'Brien runner, and he can ease his way into that gap. And you don't want to start the engine, and he's let him continue through.
In these big races, you have to keep it smooth. It has to be smooth. And I know you're riding the best horse, and he should win, but you still have to ride them well. Get a good position, and then, as you say, when he started that engine, to keep the momentum going up the hill there in Ascot. But it was a beautiful, uncomplicated ride, and I'm delighted for Colin, because the rest of getting a job like this in Royal Ascot week is a big job. So it's nice to get a big one on day 1, and he'll be freewheeling for the rest of the week.
In terms of the breeding of this horse, he